in the heart of the picturesque town of Willowbrook, where the scent of wildflowers danced on the breeze and the sunlight filtered through the canopy of ancient trees, there resided a girl named Meme. Her presence, like a gentle whisper in the wind, brought a sense of peace and warmth to all who knew her. Meme was unlike any other child in Willowbrook, not because of any remarkable talent or extraordinary feat, but because of her unparalleled kindness and sweetness. From the moment she entered this world, her laughter echoed like music through the streets, bringing smiles to the faces of even the sternest villagers. Her parents, Martha and John, were simple folk who tended to their modest farm on the outskirts of town. From the very beginning, they knew there was something special about their daughter. As Meme grew, her innocence and purity of heart shone brighter with each passing day. Even as a child, Meme had a natural affinity for all living creatures. She would spend hours in the meadows, chasing butterflies and befriending the woodland creatures that called Willowbrook home. Her laughter, like the tinkling of bells, could often be heard echoing through the trees as she played. But it wasn't just her love for animals that set Meme apart. It was her boundless compassion for her fellow villagers, young and old alike. Whether it was helping Mrs. Jenkins carry her groceries or visiting old Mr. Thompson at the edge of town to keep him company, Meme's kindness knew no bounds. As she grew older, Meme's acts of kindness only seemed to multiply. She would spend her days volunteering at the local orphanage, reading stories to the children and playing games to lift their spirits. Her presence, like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day, brought joy and comfort to all who crossed her path. But perhaps what endeared Meme most to the villagers was her ability to see the good in everyone, even those who others had long since written off. She would often befriend the loneliest souls in Willowbrook, sitting with them for hours on end and listening to their stories with genuine interest and compassion. Despite her tender heart, Meme was not immune to the trials and tribulations of life. Like all who walk this earth, she faced her fair share of challenges, from heartbreak to loss. But through it all, she remained steadfast in her belief that kindness was the greatest gift one could give. As the years passed, Meme's reputation as the sweetest girl in Willowbrook only seemed to grow. People would travel from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of the girl with the golden heart, hoping that some of her warmth and kindness would rub off on them. But to Meme, none of this mattered. She didn't seek fame or recognition for her deeds. She simply went about her days, spreading love and kindness wherever she went, content in the knowledge that she was making the world a better place, one small act of kindness at a time. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves painted the town of Willowbrook in hues of red and gold, Meme set out on her usual stroll through the village. As she walked, she couldn't help but notice the beauty that surrounded her, the rustling of the leaves in the gentle breeze, the chirping of the birds overhead, and the laughter of children playing in the streets. Lost in the tranquility of the moment, Meme rounded a corner and stumbled upon a sight that would forever change her life. There, lying by the roadside, was a wounded bird, its delicate wings trembling as it struggled to lift itself off the ground. Without a moment's hesitation, Meme knelt down beside the bird and gently scooped it up in her hands. She could feel its heartbeat fluttering beneath her fingers, weak and fragile, yet filled with a determination to survive. With tender care, Meme carried the bird back to her home, cradling it against her chest like a precious treasure. She fashioned a makeshift nest out of soft, warm blankets and placed the bird inside, murmuring soothing words of comfort as she tended to its wounds. For days, Meme devoted herself entirely to the care of the bird, feeding it with droplets of water and bits of bread soaked in milk. She would spend hours sitting by its side, stroking its feathers and whispering words of encouragement, willing it to find the strength to fly once more. And as the days turned into weeks, something miraculous began to happen. The bird, once so weak and frail, began to grow stronger with each passing day. Its wings, once battered and broken, began to mend themselves, and a spark of life returned to its eyes. Then, one sunny morning, as Meme sat by the window, lost in thought, she heard the sweet, melodious sound of birdsong filling the air. She looked outside and saw the wounded bird perched on a nearby branch, its wings outstretched as it sang with all the joy and freedom of a creature reborn. Tears welled up in Meme's eyes as she watched the bird soar into the sky, its song echoing through the village like a symphony of hope and renewal. In that moment, she realized the true power of kindness, the ability to heal wounds, mend broken hearts, and bring light to even the darkest of days. Word of Meme's selfless act of kindness spread quickly throughout Willowbrook, and soon, people from neighboring towns began to seek her out, hoping to catch a glimpse of the girl with the golden heart. Some came seeking solace in their time of need, while others simply wanted to bask in the warmth of her presence. But amidst all the attention, Meme remained humble and true to herself. She continued to go about her days as she always had, spreading kindness wherever she went and never seeking recognition or praise. As the years passed, Meme's legend grew, becoming the stuff of folklore and legend. And though she eventually grew old and her body grew frail, her spirit remained as vibrant as ever, a beacon of light in a world that so often seemed dark and cold. And so, dear reader, let us take heed of Meme's story and remember the power of kindness in our own lives. For like a pebble dropped into a still pond, a single act of kindness can create ripples that spread far and wide, touching the lives of countless others in ways we may never fully comprehend. Let us strive to be a little more like Meme, to approach each day with an open heart and a willingness to help those in need. For in doing so, we not only make the world a better place for others, but for ourselves as well.